Good evening, everybody. I'm Derek Michaud, and we are Flush in the Pocket, presented by Brunswick, sponsored by Just in Time Recreation in Lewiston. Check them out. They are awesome. They have just awesome stuff. They got parties, they got a whole bunch of, just great things. You want to check them out. JustinTimeBowl.com. They are located at, let's see here, they are located at 24 Mollison Way in Lewiston, Maine. And their phone number is 786-2695. Book your party or just, go check them out. They are awesome. They got good food. And a big shout out to Justin and Samantha for sponsoring this. And we have an awesome guest. It's very rare that I never thought that I'd be able to interview one of the greatest bowlers in the history of bowling. And tonight I get to do that. Liz Johnson is here with us. Liz, how are you?
I'm good, Derek. How are you doing?
I
Thanks for
am
having
doing
me.
very well. Thank you so much for doing this.
No
And
problem. You're
yeah,
welcome.
so I guess we got Adam in there, and he says hello to everybody. And so, hi, Adam. Thank you for tuning in. So I guess let's get started. How did you get started bowling?
My family. I'm the youngest of three. I have an older brother, older sister. Five. My brother is 5 years older. My sister's 7 years older. They both bowled just junior leagues, and both my parents they bowled just in couple was out there, and I was about 4 years old and fell in love with it ever since.
Excellent. So who coached you? Was it your parents or?
Yeah, my parents, we had like some of the junior coaches. I grew up in Niagara Falls, New York. I was at a center by the name of Beverly Lanes in Niagara Falls, and just the local coaches, junior coaches they had there.
Yeah. All right. What did you accomplish in bowling that made you ready to try the tour?
Um, I pretty much was nonstop throughout my junior career. Um, just I was always, throwing scores a little higher for my age group. Then I got into high school bowling. We had high school bowling in New York State and all over New York State and Western New York was very big back then. And I averaged I think in high school I averaged 213. My senior year high school, I think I averaged 200 my first time ever when I was eighth grade. And back then, everything was urethane, and it was just kind of a step above everybody else from my age at that time. And so it was a dream. It was, I guess aspirations. And, I went to college at Morehead State in Kentucky for 1 year. And I did that for a year. And the end of my freshman year, I made Team USA when I was 19 years old. I won Team USA National Amateur Championships in Akron, Ohio, and I won that. And then it was 2 years after that was up, I just decided to join the ladies tour. It was the LPBT back then, and then it switched over to PWBA. I think in 2001.
Yeah. So do you know why they switched from LPBT to LPBT to
I
uh
don't remember. It was probably all I don't know. I have no idea.
okay. So Adam wants to know if you're still in Chicago or did you move back to New York?
No, I'm in Niagara Falls, New York.
Nice. All right. Adam of
Mhm.
course says go Bruins and go Bills. There
Go
you go.
Bills, go Sabres.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got
I
to
go back
support the
and forth.
Buffalo teams.
Oh yeah. I go back and forth with Michelle Sterner all the time.
Oh yeah.
Um
Oh
what
yeah, she's the big one of the biggest Bills fans around. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. Um what would you say was your best moment on tour?
I've been pretty lucky, pretty fortunate. I would say most memorable for me was probably 2001 on the ladies tour was 2001. We were the only literally the only sport that did not shut down the week of September 11th.
Hmm.
Um, and week of September 11th, that was it was on a Tuesday. We shut down for the day, but started back up and finished our tournament. And I ended up shooting 300 um, September 14th for I think it was my 12th or 13th title, and we had a big sponsor for the tour. It was Travelodge, and I got a $50,000 bonus for shooting the 300, and it was just for a very sad,
Yeah.
uh, scary week. It was just something that ended on a great note for me.
Yeah. Um, how did that hit you? 9/11. I mean, obviously, it was a
It was
terrible tragedy.
scary. Yeah, it was scary. I mean, we were literally the only sport that kept going.
Mhm.
I was actually happy that week because we were down in Florida that I had my car. I didn't have to fly, and usually at that time, I mean, I flew a lot of most of the places, so I was glad to actually have my car. And um, but it was scary. It was almost it seemed like just pretty much like a nightmare. So.
Yeah. Adam Lemmerese wants to know what was it like to bowl at Bayside Bowl. I know you love Bayside Bowl, the
Oh, it's like
vacation.
yeah, that's like no other center place as a bowler I've ever experienced. I've been very fortunate to bowl with the guys in the PBA league 2 years, and then I
Mhm.
was on one of the two female teams for the league in 2020, and then we had the Empress of the Lanes, I believe, in 21, and then
Mhm.
of course this couple weeks ago got to bowl on that, and it's like no other. I mean, it's fans are crazy. It's constant
Mhm.
yelling and screaming, and it's you got to laugh, you got to enjoy, you got to have fun, you got to expect the unexpected with that. So
Does that throw you off at all?
no, no,
No.
it's you just embrace it, enjoy it, and
Mhm.
you know the fans there, they love bowling,
Mhm.
and I mean if we could have more stops like that, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. What was your favorite TV format? So I know that in the old PBT, um, they did the step ladder, and then
Hmm.
PWBA did the 3 man. Um, I don't know, the
like a
3 people
like a
shootout, and then
shootout. Yeah,
yeah.
shoot.
What was your favorite TV format?
I don't know if I ever had a favorite format. I think that probably just going back to the classic step ladder. That's probably the most, I guess, well known. It's hard, like if you're especially on the majors. Major events are most of them. I would say 99% were step ladders, and going to those after, say, if you're someone's up a couple hundred pins going in the step ladder, and there's not every single high seed has won that TV show, so that can be it that's can be tough to swallow for a lot of people. But yeah, I would just say the step ladder. It's
Yeah.
the most common over the years.
If you could pick your seed every show, where do you want to bowl?
Two or three.
2 or 3? Yep.
Hmm.
Okay.
I've out of probably 25 titles plus the men's PBA title. Um, I think less than five of them are from the number one seed.
Mhm. Okay.
Um, I don't even know if I like any of my. I think I have one Queens and a Players Championship that's from the number one seed.
Sure.
Um, and I have no U.S. Opens from the number one seed.
Oh, yeah, okay. Adam wants to know, what do you think is the biggest, contribution to your 10 wins? Like, why do you think you have 10 major wins? Like, why so good in the majors?
I've always prided myself on strong mental game. And going into something, especially a U.S. Open, Players Championship, where you have the long formats, you really have to. It's a really big test of patience, even with the Queens too, because Queens is, maybe not as many games, but it's still as mental as they come. But I always enjoyed the longer formats. For me, I believe the more games I put in throughout the day, throughout the week, the stronger I would get. And
Mhm.
it's just a grind, and it's a lot of patience. So,
Okay. Adam, I hope that answers your question. I hope I uh, enunciated that properly. Go ahead and like and subscribe. This is Flush in the Pocket presented by Just in Time Entertainment. Check them out on justintimebowl.com. And what would you say was your worst moment on tour?
worst moment on tour. Um, Probably I've always go back to, I think it was the 2008 US Open,
Hmm.
and one of the few cuts that I missed. I didn't even make the top 24.
Hmm.
That was in Romeoville, Illinois,
Hmm.
and that's one of those forgettable tournaments. I couldn't get out of there quick enough, and we had a very bad storm there, and barely made it back to the hotel in time for no have no power.
Oh my gosh. Um, did you have anyone's number on TV or in match play? Like, I mean, who did you beat up a lot?
Um, I think it was back and forth.
Mhm.
I bowled Kelly a lot.
Sure.
Um, Both wins and losses.
Mhm.
Um, Shamplowski. There was a few times, probably for a few years, where I couldn't beat her at all. And then I've had a winning streak against her a few times also.
Mhm.
But there's nobody that I could ever say that I had their number, they had mine.
Okay. All right. So then, so yeah, when you shot 300 in 2001,
Hmm.
that was supposed to be on TV. That was at
Yes.
what St. Clair Bowl in St. Louis. I mean,
The one in 2001 it was in Davie, Florida, September 14th.
okay,
Yeah, it was the week of September 11th, because it was supposed to be, I believe, the show, I believe, was supposed to be September 13th,
okay,
which was because our shows back then were taped on Thursday nights.
right.
And I think it was on a Friday, I believe. But yeah, because no camera crews could get out there, so one of the guys, Brian, who worked the truck, um, forgive me, Brian, if you're out there, remember his
Mhm.
last name, but he was in charge of getting a camera, and we got one camera, and they put that in the background of behind the settee, and what they were able to film the show where it was all silent, but it was just like one camera.
Mhm.
So that's how the show got covered. And then the following week, I believe I made the show there, and it was we had a whole swing in Florida, and they showed like 300, so that was pretty neat.
Now, I mean, I know 300 is difficult, but do you think is there kind of less pressure, I guess, bowling 300 in Florida when you did it versus like if you were on actual live TV, all those like I mean, I mean, is there any difference or is it still
There's
just as
still a
much
lot of
pressure?
pressure. I mean,
Yeah.
you just gotta try to somehow, some way, if there is a way to just block it out of your mind. Try not to think, hey, just try to think of this practice. I mean, it's a very important practice, but just try to visualize just making the good shots like any other shot. Trying to, for me, it'd be a lot of breathing, because your heart rate just keeps going and going and going.
Mhm.
Just try to, in your mind, to say, hey, that, you've done this before, you've struck before, you can do it again, and try not to, think, hey, there's something else. It's a title, it's a bonus, it's this or that. It's just you want it. It's basically so cool to shoot 300 anyway, but
Mhm.
to do it for, on a live TV show, or for a title or even for a win. It's pretty awesome.
How many do you have?
I have 78. And that goes back my very first one I was 18. It goes from our Empire State Games in New York. Had the Empire State Games 1992 when I
Mhm.
shot my first one, to leagues over the years, to several on the ladies tour, had a few on the men's tour, on the PBA tour, regionals, all that. Everything adds up to 78, and including the 2001 300, and I had the 2021 where the week I won in Lincoln, Nebraska also.
Wow. So you play down and in. You're kind of like the Dave Traber of the PWBA. Can you do you can you open it up at all, or are you down and in all the way?
Well, if you go back to watching my Players Championship win, 2017,
Okay.
I was playing between 20 and 25.
Ooh. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
on, we had back then, 2017, 2016, um, uh, we had shows that were they were a little different format. They were in groups, and then they didn't do the finals, but then they saved the finals for after the majors. Like we'd shoot like 3 or 4 TV shows at one time.
All in the same
So
center,
I
right?
bowled I bowled the that I think the weeks prior I won and bowled the Players Championship, and then I had to go back and tape these other 2 shows. And after winning the one show, the Players Championship, I had to go back, and I don't think I could barely average 150, 160 on the other shows because I was all hyped up.
Mhm.
But this Players Championship 2017, I was not right of 15, 20 that week.
Adam A says that two of his favorite shows or titles of yours is the 2015 U.S. Open, and then the Chameleon Championship on the PBA. How was it?
Hmm.
How was that? What was that like to bowl and win a PBA title?
That was probably one of the best bowling days of my life, both bowling days of my week of my life. That was at the Reno Stadium,
Mhm.
which is probably one of, I mean, if you ever get asked, where's your favorite bowling center place to ever bowl at, which I never thought of. I'm like, I don't have a favorite center. I bowled all over the country, all over the world, but I've had over the years, I think about it, and I've had pretty good success at the stadium. So being there, and then bowling with the guys against the guys at the World Series, it was a great week. Always felt really comfortable in that stadium, and uh, it was a good week. That's one of the best bowling weeks of my life.
I can think of one person whose number you definitely had is Wes Malott. I've seen you bowl him twice on TV,
Yeah,
and you beat him both
yeah.
times. I don't think it was even close, but
He's
yeah.
always a good sport about it.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Wes is a fantastic guy. He'll be on here at the end of the month. Um, so let me see here. Why why are you so? The U.S. Open is not on a league shot. It's on a very difficult shot. Why are
Hmm.
you so good at the U.S. Open? 6 U.S. Open titles.
Hmm.
That's beyond me. Why so good at the Open?
Again, it's just I think just it was a lot of games.
Yeah.
A lot of games, a lot of mental. I mean, mentally, it's just super hard, and I can't explain it sometimes because this year I didn't make any TV shows, and I got in to qualify fourth for Women's U.S. Open this year. I'm like, I don't even know how I did it myself, and I'm just struggling to still make shows, but it's just, it's the format. It's a comfort for me knowing that a lot of tournaments these days. It's a lot quicker. There's less games, and going
Mhm.
back to the U.S. Open, it's still like retro format where you got to bowl 56 games in the week. And, the first day, the second day, you're still not out. And then you got match play, and anything can happen in one block of match play, let alone another 24 games of match play. So I never count myself out for absolutely anything. And I
Right.
know every single pin counts. So for me, it's always about of course, making spares and making, making every single pin count after 56 games. You have like 1 to 2 pins over those 50 games, and 100 pins is nothing.
Right. What and you might have mentioned it, but what was your favorite tour stop?
I don't know if I ever had a favorite. I always like I said, I always like going back to Reno.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of Queens and Queens. I bowled the Masters there. I bowled a lot of nationals there. I like Ashwaubenon in Green Bay.
Yep.
I won actually the 2015 Queens. I won there, and then earlier that year I bowled the Masters, the USBC Masters, in that January 2015, and
Mhm.
I was in Florida for a wedding, and I missed practice session because my flight got canceled, so I had to go the next day for qualifying. I think I ended up having my best finish in the one of my best finish for the Masters event in 2015. So, and at Ashwaubenon. So that's probably another place that I really liked.
Yeah, definitely. What's your what would you say was your worst tour stop?
Yeah, Romeoville, Illinois is never one of my my favorite places, probably.
Romeoville. That's not
I don't think
Rockford.
they had, no, Rockford. I like Rockford.
Mhm.
Rockford, I won the Players Championship there in 2001, I
Okay, yep.
believe. Yes.
Mhm.
And
All
we've
right.
gone back there several times also on ladies events.
Oh yeah.
hmm
Where did the PWBA never go that you wish they had have gone?
Um, well, probably maybe Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, Cheektowaga,
You
sure.
know, yeah. Um, well, when Thruway Lanes was around, Cheektowaga. Well, actually, when we had the women's series back in the late 2000s. We bowled in Buffalo. We bowled at Thruway Lanes in Cheektowaga because that was like 10 minutes from where I used to live. So it was always right around the corner. And growing up in Niagara Falls too, it would have been nice just because I had a lot of family and friends that could come watch. But us being in Rochester this past year for the U.S. Open was nice because making the show for that. It was nice having. I had some friends come watch for that TV show. So it's always nice to be able to have a stop when stops are a little closer to home.
Yeah. Um, Real quick before I get to my buddy Andrew, who I think wants you on his show as well. Does Is there a hole in Buffalo or Cheektowaga because um Thruway is no longer there? I mean, is that place really missed, or did they rebound? Is there a nice place to bowl there now that
Um, there's really nothing like Thruway Lanes. They've had a lot of tournaments over there over the years. They had Bud Light Challenge there. The place that I grew up in Niagara Falls, Beverly Lanes, that got torn down probably almost 20 years ago now. That was like a home house for a lot of us growing up in high school, and we had a lot of sweepers and a lot of local stuff there as well. But yeah, probably Thruway Lanes also is one of
yeah.
the big places. They have regionals at Airport Lanes in Cheektowaga now too.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if they had it this year, but there's not as much in that area as there used to be, of course.
Yeah. So Andrew Pfeffer, Bowling with the Pfeff, he says he
hmm
likes the Schwaben bowling alley as well.
hmm
I
hmm
appreciate him checking it out. He's bowling tonight, I guess. So
Bulgaria.
yeah, man. I mean, he kind of inspired me to do this. A lot of people. I mean, we've
Mm-hmm.
been Facebook friends for a while, you and I, and and I, of course, have my radio station, and a lot of people have said, "Geez, with your memory and stuff like that, you should do a bowling podcast." I don't know if it'd be good. I don't know what I would call it and whatever. And then after I interviewed Parker, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if any pro that'll let me interview them. That's the way I need to do it. So I'm so fortunate that everybody has been so nice about this podcast. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. What hold on. So yeah, I know we talked about it, but making a PBA telecast with a lot of the guys, is it the rev rates aren't as high with the women? With them, I mean, I know that there are some people that can really rip it, like Feldman and Stanbro on the left. Is there any difference between bowling with the men and bowling with the women?
Well, over the last couple of years, there's so much talent on the women's side now.
Yeah.
They're catching up. Jordan Richard, I mean, she is like another Michelle Feldman, but throws it even harder. So she
Okay.
has the revs and has the ball speed.
Mhm.
You have Dasha Kovalova, you have Daria Payok, who has a higher rev rate. But yeah, like overall, the men's, I would just say the moves are bigger. The moves are quicker and faster, bigger. Um, you just have to change. You have to change equipment that much faster. I think that goes with both tours overall. The moves are a lot quicker
What
now
was your
than what they
reaction
used
when
to
you
be.
made the show at the Banquet Classic in 2005? Like after match play is all over and you found out you made the show.
Oh yeah.
What
Well,
what did that
it
feel like?
was I mean, it wasn't like back then, so you knew exactly what was going on because it wasn't where some places were total pins. So the way the format was back then, it was all bracket format.
Mhm.
So it was funny when I remember driving up to that center the first time, because I just joined the PBA. We able to join the PBA I think in November 2004, and this was March 2005, and I remember walking to the bowling center and rolling my bowling balls in. There's some guys, I think, at the bar, somewhere in the bowling center, and them looking at me like I can't believe, there's women coming in here to bowl, and I didn't think anything of it, but you could tell it's like, well, it's a little different back then. I don't think they didn't weren't really familiar watching women bowl, especially on the PBA, the men's tournament. So.
Mhm.
Um, it was really awesome. It was probably to this day one of, if not the most memorable time of my life, uh, TV show of my life because it was breaking the mold back then. I was the first female to make a TV show, to make a men's PBA TV show, and I felt like I got is more recognition for that than a lot of my 10, 11 titles at the time overall, and just it was a really special moment for me, special time in my life,
Absolutely.
just something I'll never forget.
Yeah. Um and how was it bowling with Tommy Jones?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, the guys then and even to this day, they've always treated me like, like I was just bowling one of the guys.
Right.
They've always been very respectful and to me, and I was hopefully I always did the same with them, and but it was it was just really just a cool experience. So it was just I remember the crowd being you know, it was almost like a mini portion of Portland. It was
Yeah.
people were going crazy and had some friends come up and watch and they made like little faces like they do at faces on a stick like they do in Portland and they had that at the bowling center in Grand Rapids. So that was
Yeah.
pretty neat.
I remember I'm going to show off my memory a little bit if you don't mind. I remember that telecast
Hmm.
they were Dave and Randy were talking about your grandfather Poppy Tato. What
Hmm.
did he mean to you in your bowling in your life? And
Yeah, he passed away. He was 93
mm,
and he passed away 2007 and he when I was growing up, he took me to a lot of my practices and dropped me off at the bowling center. And he was one of my few family members also that bowled. He was my maternal grandfather, and he was a New York State champion in 1959. And I remember him giving me, for good luck, he gave me his New York State ring. To this day, I still can't. It's somewhere around the house. But he was he was a very proud guy, and it was really awesome to have him see some of the stuff that I did before he passed away.
Yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace, Papi
Mhm.
Tato. Adam wants to know what is your take on the 2024 tour schedule?
Well, I'll be able to drive a lot of it,
Yeah.
which will be good. It's the fact that we're going to be a lot of the Midwest, going to Minnesota, Rockford. I think we're going. I don't know if we're going to Cleveland or not. But a lot of them are close and drivable for me. So
Mhm.
I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
Um, it's I think the practice session in Minneapolis is my 50th birthday. So I told Brent Prentice, the manager at, in Cedarville, I said we've got to take it easy. So we got a bowl the next day. So
Wow. That is amazing. 50. So, wow, your 50th
yeah,
birthday is coming up.
yeah.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Jerry Mars, a good friend of both of us, says, "Hey,
Jerry, hi Jerry.
yeah,
He's my buddy.
Jerry's great guy, and
Jerry's a good guy. Jerry's a great
oh
guy.
yeah, really good guy." What is a PWBA rule that you agree with?
Um, that I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably just this, like something simple, like if you pro-ams, everyone's required to bowl pro-ams.
Okay. Um, is there something you don't agree with, a rule you don't agree with?
I'm not fond of the regional rule.
Which is
Um, Champions are not allowed to bowl regionals because on
you
the
can't bowl any
PBA,
regionals.
no,
See,
PBA regionals, anybody can bowl a PBA regional if you're a PBA member.
see,
That's all I can say.
no, that's fine. And I'm just gonna say this because it's my podcast, and I say whatever. But I've always felt like you guys kind of get punished for being as good as you are
I think
because
that's bowling in general. I really
Mhm.
think that's bowling. I feel like bowling is the only sport where you get penalized for being talented. It happens in a lot of tournaments, um, a lot of places all over the country.
Right.
All over I don't say all over the world, but I know all over the country. Yeah, there's tournaments you're not allowed to bowl in if you have a title or if you have more than a couple titles. Um, it is what it is. You just kind of say whatever, and just move on.
Because I mean, right, and because Arturo Quintero lives in Portland now, and I
Mhm.
heard that I don't know if it's true or not. I heard he can't bowl our state tournament, but to me, it's just he's just Arturo. To me, you're Liz. You're
Mhm.
yes, you're one of the best bowlers in the world, but to me, you're just a
Yeah.
normal person. I mean, we're having,
Mhm.
I don't know, but
Yeah. I mean, I always say, I'm just a person who just still wants to try to bowl whatever I can bowl in. And I
absolutely,
don't bowl as much as I used to,
yeah,
probably 10, 15 years ago, honestly.
hmm
Um, but, if I'm given the chance, I feel like I should have that chance to bowl.
yep.
That's all.
Uh, what's not a PWBA rule that should be?
Hmm. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
all right. I'll change it up. What's your bowling pet peeve?
My bowling, oh, my bowling pet peeve. Let me think on that one. Go when it's your turn. Plain
Sure.
simple.
Yep. Whether you're going to the bathroom or not, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cole says, "Do you ever play bouncy ball or bocce? Bocce. I'm sorry,
I
bocce
have
ball."
when I was a kid. I have when I was a kid. We had my mom's side of the family is Italian. My dad's Polish, my mom's Italian, and on my mom's side, growing up, we did a lot of family picnics playing bocce ball. So it's probably been about 30 years since I've done that. 30, 35 years.
I think I've played it maybe once. What is it? It's lawn bowling. You're supposed to get it close to.
Yeah, you're supposed to get, I think, close to the little ball, I believe. Don't quote me on that because it's
Okay.
been a long, long time.
How he wants to know how do you adjust the oil? How do you adjust to the oil on the lanes?
Just depends. Might have to be a ball change. It could be sometimes for me it's if the ball's not carrying and I have so much equipment, it could be and one of my ball reps, Sean Ryan,
Hmm?
oh I if I'm just lost and I can't carry a 10 pin, I'm like, I'm just gonna go it over the front. I'm just gonna play basketball and go over the front.
Hmm.
So it's one thing I've always if there's anything I might be able to do that not that maybe some females can't do as well as I can do it with my ball speed and the loft. And that's
Sure.
it's probably what's gotten me over the years, which is gotten me through a lot of tournaments over the years. Yeah.
So about 10 years ago, when Pete Weber won the tournament of champions, I
Mhm.
found out we all found out that he cannot loft the left gutter cap. Is there anything that you cannot physically do with a bowling ball?
Well, I mean, I would say my D, my C, my E game, whatever, probably is or left. I mean, I can do it, but I haven't, done as well probably lofting a gutter cap.
Sure.
Um, it's just probably just throwing it harder. But I mean, there's a lot of people who can't play the gutter either.
Right.
So I feel like I can do as I would say maybe not as great as some, but I've probably literally done a little bit of everything in my lifetime I mean I've been throwing a bowling ball for 45 years.
Hmm.
I've been probably bowling tournaments for 30 years. So I mean I've seen and done a lot, I think, and nothing I haven't tried. So
Yeah. How was it when you broke your toe a few years ago and you shot 268 on TV? I dropped a bowling ball on my toe back in 21. I didn't do as great. Why?
mhm.
What was that like? I mean, that had to have
Let's
hurt.
see what year was that because I probably did that a couple times.
God, I think you were bowling like the
Um,
ultimate. No, you were bowling on like
The
one
Was
of
I
the
bowling
tournaments where it
the
was like,
WBT
yeah, I
the
think so.
WBT event 2012 maybe?
I want to say yeah, it was close to that. Yeah,
It was 2012. I was home and I think it was and I've lots of times I have a really good memory myself
sure,
on certain things. I can't remember yesterday, but I can remember 30 years ago.
got you
Type
right there with
thing,
you.
type memory.
Yep.
I was driving my friend's daughter home. And she was in the back seat, and I went to move. I had a bowling ball or two in the back seat of my car, and I went to move it. So I put her in the back, and then I go around the front, and as soon as I open the door, before I can even react, the bowling ball came like shot out like a shotgun, and um, and dropped right on my toe, on my big toe, and we had that Friday night, it was the Bud Light Challenge weekend in Buffalo, and I had a bowl sweeper that night, and it was my toe was just black, and I could barely even bowl, but I bowled the sweeper, and then the very next day it was even worse, and I think I withdrew after like a couple games for that, and then the following week was the TV show for the World Bowling Tour. And I did it. I taped it up, and it was painful, but it was definitely broke. So
Was it your slide foot or was it
that was my
your
slide foot. It was my slide foot because it was. I remember it was the big toe of my slide foot. And there's no good, like you say, your good toe, your bad toe. The
No, no,
the
I get you.
pivot the pivot foot is probably worse than the slide foot.
Right.
So
Yeah. And listen, everybody, don't break your
just
toe.
don't do it all. Just don't
Just
break your
don't.
toe. Period.
Luckily for me, I don't know if you've ever been to Treasure Lanes in Port Charlotte, Florida, but
Mm-mm.
their lockers, I don't know if you ever seen these. I'm sure you have these lockers that don't have a lip. So like if your ball is in there, you better hope it's in there solid. I got 3 balls
Yeah.
and 2
Oh
lockers.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I open up my locker and all of a sudden the ball rolls out. And before I know it, it hits my right toe. And I was panicking. I think I might have messaged you. I know I messaged Barnes. I said, what do I do here? He says, well, it's definitely broken. Luckily, it wasn't broken,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just, oh my God, it was awful. And I was, 3 days later, I was bowling again. But yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah. Don't do it all.
So Cole wants to know: are there hustlers in bowling like there are in pool?
Um, there are. I don't think, at least where I was at, they were never like really going towards like, hey, come on, let's go bowl or whatever. Um, and growing up in Western New York, I don't know if you remember Mike Newman,
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Brad Angelo,
Hmm.
it was Jack Jurek, Pat Healy, a lot of some of the best amateur bowlers in the country were from Western New York, from Niagara Falls, from Buffalo, and they did a lot of pot games and sweepers and stuff like that, and but nobody ever really really went um, after people trying to get them to, hey, come on, let's go bowl pot games.
So if we were in the same bowling center and you had time
Hmm.
and I had my
Hmm.
stuff and I say, hey, you want to bowl a game? You could do that
Hmm.
with no money and just bowl a game and have a good old time. You can do that.
I could do that, yeah,
Yeah. See,
if I
that's how I was
wanted
talking to.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I wanted to. It's like
Sure.
with bowling. I mean, I'm realistic with bowling. It's like, you know what? Anybody can beat anybody any given day in
Sure.
bowling. One game of bowling. It's not like golf. You think someone's, when he was in his prime, someone's going to ask Tiger Woods, hey,
Right.
you want to go play a round of golf? They're not dumb, but yeah. But yeah, bowling is just it's just how it is.
Yeah. So what Andrew wants to know, he says, how do you think Brent Prentice should celebrate his 60th birthday this weekend?
Do I really answer that?
I mean, this is your podcast. You do whatever you want. I don't know. I'm not sure I know who that
I'm
is.
sure there's gonna be a few libations going on. I'm sure he might have a cocktail or few, couple.
That is awesome. So, okay. Uh, how much longer do you think you're going to be showing it up on the tour?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Hmm.
Just because, right now my career has no end at the
Sure.
moment, I should say. Um, as long as my body holds up, my heart for the sport holds up, which it's still, I still love. Sometimes it's hard to get out there and practice and even just to travel and whatnot. But um, as soon as I step on the lanes and everything, I know this is where I still want to be.
Hmm.
Um,
You're still hungry.
but yeah, when you feel like you get up on the lanes and you throw a bad game or you have a bad, maybe not have as good of a block or something, and it's like, I don't care. you know. But if you're still, you're still feeling like if you may have some bad games or good games and you're excited about it, or you get really, really mad about it, you're still hungry
Yeah.
to keep going. Does that make sense?
Yep, sure. Uh,
So I still get that way. I know I still get that way, and I'm still um, hungry to win a title, to make another TV show. Um, this has been I guess it's been my life or my career for 30 years and what I've done. But I still love it.
mhm,
I do still love what I do, and I'm still very fortunate. I get to still travel,
mhm,
and so and like I said, I turn 50 next year, so I'd like to maybe try a 50 tour
mhm,
tournament
mhm.
once or twice. So we'll see how the schedules go up. If not, maybe the following year.
Sure.
So we'll see. But as of right now, I'm going to continue and just try to look until 2024 and not go past that at that moment.
Yeah. And so Cole wants to know how many 300s you have. We said it was 78, right?
78, yes.
Yeah, okay. Um, and he also wants to know, do you think shorter bowlers have an advantage? Is there a physical type that is better for bowling, like basketball players?
No,
Norm
mm-mm.
Duke
I
does pretty
mean,
well. He's short.
yeah, you got Norm Duke and you have Wes Malott.
Right.
You got the big and the tall. There's some really good. Bowling comes in all sizes. So,
Mhm.
um,
So when you're done the tour, what do you want to do?
I don't know. Just probably just try. I think I'll probably try to. I don't do it as much right now, but probably coach a little bit more or
Yep.
coach more and just coach in general. When I'm home, I help Michelle Sterner and Sue Jeziorski with Duoville. I'm not home that much this year,
Hmm.
but I was with them a little bit on the road last year. Um, Sue Jeziorski, who coaches Duoville College, Duoville University, she's been my coach for probably over 30 years and one of my best friends. And she's, very uh, not very low rated, underrated as far as coaching all over all over the country. So they have a great program there in Duval and Buffalo. So and you have Michelle Sterner as well.
Absolutely. So do you um so yeah, Adam says you want to attend as many Buffalo Bills games as you can. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so question 20 was kind of about Bayside, but I'm going to change it up because we already talked about that. But if nothing happens in your career and when you decide to retire, can you
Mhm.
look back at your career and say that you're satisfied, or is there more to accomplish? What
Oh
haven't you
yeah.
accomplished that you want to?
Um, I've done. I can never look back and regret anything or say I haven't done enough.
Mhm,
There's probably like as a member of Team USA. I shot 300 in the final game of our World Championships for us to win the gold medal.
mhm,
For our team bowled phenomenal.
mhm,
That's how I went out. But the only thing I never got to do was probably a bowl a World Cup.
mhm,
If I haven't done anything at all that I missed out in my resume, that might be it. But other than that, my majors, my 25 titles. To have a PBA title is like no other. And I've had 3 TV shows. I made 3, I think the only female to make 3 PBA TV shows also on the tour, on the PBA tour. Um, I've won a Boot Hill title um, in Chicago, who's a lot of people have never bowled that tournament. You have to bowl at least once in your life because that will humble you like no other.
yeah.
Um, I've been very lucky and fortunate, and I again, going back to growing up in the area and era that I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and Western New York, we had the best bowlers in the country and the world right in my backyard. So to bowl with the best and beat the best, or just bowl against the best in the area, makes you become that much better of a bowler. That's why, in a way, I don't like the rules where if you the some I would say the regionals or other tournaments where they don't allow some of the best bowlers in the world to bowl these tournaments. That's how you get
Yeah.
some amateurs and people, boys, girls, men, women, up and coming to become better. You want them to bowl against the best.
Right.
That's how you get better. That's
Yep.
my opinion. That's how I felt like I got better and became one of the best in the world.
Well, if you ever want to bowl a tournament that you actually can bowl,
Hmm.
come to Portland and bowl one of the Frankie and Ding Dong. He would welcome you with open arms, I guarantee you.
I would love to.
Um, is there a wrong time to ask? I asked Parker this. Is there a wrong time to
Hmm.
ask you for your autograph? Like, so let's say if you shoot 125, and I know that it's not
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
fault that you shot 125, but
Sure.
do you sign, hey, Liz, can I have your autograph? I know it was a shitty game,
Yeah.
but do
Yeah.
you sign right away, or do you need 5 minutes?
Most likely, I would always sign.
Yeah,
There are rules that say you're not allowed to sign um, autographs in the middle of competition.
right.
That's more of a, I don't know if that's more of a PBA rule. I don't know if the PWA rule has that rule or not. I'm not, no, I don't know that.
No, that's cool.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know that. But if it was me, yeah, I just, depending on the situation, most likely I would still sign something.
Yeah, I feel like an
Yeah. The
idiot. I
only
went
way
to,
I wouldn't, I would say the only way I wouldn't sign right that very second is for obvious reasons. I have two bowling balls, two bowling bags in my hands, and I
oh
can't
my god, yeah, of
just
course.
drop something and people have tried to do that too.
Oh my god,
And sometimes you just drop them and it's like, okay, you sign it and then you keep going.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So, um, we're gonna go flush in the pocket with Liz Johnson. It's just 12. It's just 12 questions, just for fun.
okay.
What is your favorite food?
Chicken.
Okay, how? So is it like do you like shake and bake, or do you like?
Honestly, my favorite meal is probably chicken parm.
Okay, sure.
Mhm.
Favorite music?
Um, I like all music, 80s,
Sure.
classic rock.
Yeah.
I
Favorite
grew up on
vacation spot?
MTV.
What's that?
As I said I grew up on MTV, so
Hey, there you
any
go.
of that stuff. Yeah.
I watch a lot of Catfish on that lately, but
Oh, yeah.
favorite vacation spot?
Um, Give me a pool with sun and a floaty. I'm happy.
All right, all right. That sounds
Like
great.
Vegas in the middle of, probably in the beginning of July, Vegas when it's 100 between 90 to 95 degrees is perfect to me. I guess give me I'll be out in the floaty, swimming
Indoor pool
pool.
or outdoor pool?
Outdoor pool.
Oh, okay. All right.
Got to get the tan.
Sure, sure, sure.
Mhm.
All right. So, what do you do to take your mind off of bowling?
Go to the gym, work
Okay.
out, cardio, walk, lift weights, stuff like that. Nothing too crazy though.
Cole wants to know if you had a sandwich named after you, what would it be? What would be on it?
El- Probably like the Elvis, peanut butter and banana.
All right. All right. Um. Yeah, and he
Actually, you
says
can add a little of the jelly with it too, so it's peanut butter, banana, and jelly.
there's not enough songs about bowling. Which okay. Um. What is the smartest thing you ever did?
Oh, the smartest thing I ever did. Put put some money away.
Good for you. Dumbest thing you ever did?
Put Gave my money away.
Okay. Um. So, best advice ever given.
Um, just be true to yourself. Be a good
Yep.
person.
Yep.
Michelle
Fi-
Mullen bowled on tour.
what's that?
Michelle Mullen, she's
Yep.
from Detroit, originally from Chicago. From
Yep.
my best friend tour time. She was my roommate on tour for 2 years. That was pretty much coming from her. So
That's awesome. Favorite time of day?
morning because I get up and have coffee.
Oh, how do you take your coffee?
Just with cream.
Good to know. Next year at Bayside, I'm getting you a coffee. Um,
There you
favorite movie?
go. Oh, favorite movie. Favorite. Oh, Pretty Woman.
Okay. Um, so there you go. Do you go to concerts?
I've seen Celine Dion 6 times.
Hmm.
I met her at, long story short, when she was in Vegas. We had a tour stop when I bowled on the men's tour, and I was at Sunset Station. I pull
Hmm.
into Sunset Station, go to the pro shop, and I think Jimmy Callahan was running the pro shop at that time. They said Celine Dion's coming in for a birthday party for her son, and I waited around for like an hour and ended up meeting her, myself, Kelly Kulick, Jim Tomic,
Yep.
uh, and we ended up meeting her, talking to her for a little bit, her and her husband Renee, and they got us 4 free tickets to her concert. And then I still have my picture taken with her to this day.
There you
So yeah,
go.
I've seen her about 6 times.
I've seen Toby Keith 8 times, so I know what it's like to see somebody multiple. So party all night or quiet night at home?
Quiet night at home.
Okay. All right. So I think I doubled one of the questions, so I will change it to if you could have dinner with three people living or past, who would it be?
Um, my Poppy Tato,
Yep.
Derek Jeter,
Okay.
and Linda Carter.
Okay. I don't think you'll have any problem trying to meet Derek Jeter. I mean, my gosh, I bet that would
Yeah,
be. Uh,
I grew up a Yankees fan. Derek Jeter, his rookie year was my rookie year on tour. His number 2 is my birthday, and he's a Yankees. He was Yankees his whole life, so his whole career. Now I'm a Yankees fan. So
well, thanks for chatting with a Bruins fan. I really, really appreciate it. Listen, for what it's worth, uh,
Mhm.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everything you've done. Thanks for letting
Thank
me
you.
watch. It really, knowing you really means a lot. And, thank you so much for doing this. This has been Flush in the Pocket with Liz Johnson. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, so I was trying to, if you want to send Michelle Kelly my way, I mean, I'd love to have those people on.
Okay.
Michelle Mullen, I think I messaged her, but
Hmm.
yeah. So Liz, thank you so much, and
Thanks so much, Derek.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
That's Liz Johnson, and I mean that's awesome. I mean, she's just an amazing, amazing person. So, all right, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Our next episode is happening Monday night. That's right, 4 days. I get 4 days off, and it's gonna be awesome because we have a local-ish bowler. She's about 2 hours away from me. She's part of Bowl Portland, Bopo, and she is definitely a great lefty on the Carl's World Tour, and used to bowl the Mists when there was just the Mist. So Sarah Marcotte, formerly Pelletier, now she's Marcotte. She's no longer married, but she has an amazing guy with an amazing baby, and so anyway, but she's an amazing bowler. That's why we're having her on. That's why I'm having her on Monday night, 8 o'clock. And so check that out. And thank you once again to Liz Johnson for going Flush in the Pocket with me. So I want to thank Cole and I want to thank Adam A. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, Flush in the Pocket Podcast. Tell your friends, any people that you know love bowling. I love bowling. So that's why I created this podcast. Has been Flush in the Pocket, presented by Brunswick, sponsored by Just in Time Recreation. Now let's pull up their Facebook page real quick because they're awesome. As a matter of fact, we're going to go to justintimebowl.com, or you should go to justintimebowl.com. Just in Time Recreation is located in Lewiston. It used to be Spare Time Recreation in Lewiston. And I want to give a shout out to Steve Dubnik, or Dubek. Let me see, I'm going to butcher his last name. Hold on. No, Steve Dubek. Brandon posted his 300 at Just in Time Recreation. They're located in Lewiston. Give them a call. Their phone number is 207-786-2695. justintimebowl.com. They have birthday parties. They have things happening that we don't know about yet. They're working on a lot of things. They've got great food. They have better staff. Not that the staff before wasn't great, but I always say the staff is better than the food or the entertainment. Justin is an amazing guy. Sam is his wife, and she's amazing. And thank you so much for sponsoring this. Again, justintimebowl.com. And you can email them at info@justintimebowl.com. And you can also, again, give them a call at 207-786-2695. I'll see you Monday. This has been Flush in the Pocket, presented by Brunswick, sponsored by Just in Time Recreation. Again, justintimebowl.com. That's all right. Well, good job, Cole, getting that 130 average. And yeah, Kingpin's a great movie. You are as good as you can be, my friend. So thank you so much, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.